So you're pitching a bunch of ideas right now.
Really good ones.
This is the R&D laboratory for WSL content.
I mean, we got stinking Jonah.
We are Snapchat for Facebook.
Yeah.
Truly. And yeah, so you were referencing Jonah. So over the years, we've talked about the tour needs to adjust in these ways. And then within a year or two, the WSL makes the exact adjustment that we've talked about. Listeners will message us and say, hey, didn't you guys talk about reducing the number of surfers or whatever the thing is? And I always say, yeah, we did talk about that, but
everybody was kind of.
It's in the ether.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, that's a logical conclusion for how to improve their business.
Well, I feel all we're doing really on this show particularly is curating
the ideas that are already out
there.
Exactly.
We're riffing on the ideas that I didn't have one original idea.
So yes, the WSL implemented what we talked about, but we're probably not responsible for the genesis of the idea, right?
Except for Jonah Hill.
After saying that a dozen or 24 times in the last 2 years to listeners and justifying that we don't accept responsibility for it, we talk about Jonah Hill.
Specifically Jonah Hill. And
2 weeks ago.
And you cut
2 weeks ago.
You cut a video clip even of specifically
promoting it out there.
Of the Jonah Hill should be the ultimate surfer, however it was
That's
titled.
what we talked about it. And I even said, yeah, this is obvious to Chaz and I in hindsight, looking back at quarantine, this is what they should have done with that time. However, they can still do it in the future because we still have downtime before the tour goes back around the world. So they should implement this today. 2 weeks later, they release an episode with Jonah Hill. So do we take responsibility for that one or not?
100% for that one.
Okay.
That was so specifically an idea that came from here.
Then my follow-up on that is they still got it wrong.
They totally got it wrong.
It's still terrible. The version that we pitched is Jonah Hill go up to Surf Ranch, Kelly Slater teach him how to
get barreled.
And here's all the reasons why that works. Jonah Hill's not working right now because they're not filming anything in Hollywood.
He wants to surf Ranch.
He'd be desperate to Surf Ranch. Like this would be
he'd be desperate to get instruction. It wouldn't even have to be Kelly. It could be you could have Leonardo Fioravante teaching Jonah Hill how to do something.
This makes sense on all these levels. The version that they gave us was Mick Fanning interviewing him via Zoom as a podcast, and which solidified for me something that I hadn't really thought. Mick Fanning, I've had enough of Mick.
Mick became for some reason in COVID times, Mick Fanning became the face of surf journalism, more or less, or the public face of surfer interview for both Stab, WSL. Mick is everywhere interviewing everybody. And Mick is fine. He's not a horrible interviewer. Do you think it's not like it's egregious, but Mick talking to Jonah Hill was so awesomely uninteresting that they took a great idea and just fumbled it.
We all will give Mick a chance because he's a 3-time world champ and we all love him and whatever. But your original complaint, the famous complaint, he's boring. He's boring. He's a vanilla surfer, which I would argue against that point as a surfer, but who he is as a surfer is who he is as an interviewer. And it's completely predictable. It's right down the middle. It'll give you he'll follow the script of what the producers told him to do.
Get you a 7.6 every time.
And he will get eyeballs because everybody gives Mick a free pass because we all venerate our heroes in surfing.
Here's the problem though. How much longer can Mick go giving pretty vanilla bland interviews and people still tune in?
I'm now out.
Yeah.
I gave him a bunch of free passes because I kind of wanted to see what Gabriel Medina had to say and whatever else. At this point, I'm like, dude, I'm over it.
Yeah.
I'm completely over it. This is pathetic that we venerate these guys so much. They just get a free pass.
So my question is though, because Mick was the face of Stabs, whatever it was called, right? No contest, or no contest, or unplugged, which turned into no contest, it turned into something related to no contest.
Right.
Where now that it's not going to be no contest, we're going to go talk about the spots where the tour was and talk about history. Is that still ongoing?
I didn't watch that.
I don't either. But so he really was Stab heavy.
Yeah.
Now he's WSL space for this, this, and this. Is Stab and the WSL, do they have an actual relationship now? Do you think they've tied in more or less Stab's editorial
maybe.
for whatever it is in directly now into the WSL.
Maybe.
Ashton Goggins.
I mean, the ones that I've seen highlighted, the media partnerships are the Inertia with the WSL
and
Surfer Magazine with the WSL. I haven't seen that they've officially entered into any.
But I wonder
if it's more covert,
if it's fully like a Stab is getting, there's revenue share there. There's like a full on melding together of the WSL and Stab, where Inertia will still be the Inertia, Surfer will still be the Surfer, but Stab will eventually roll right into the WSL and more or less be the WSL's media arm.
Yeah, possible. By the way, when I saw the Jonah Hill thing, I'm not even mad about it. Like, I'm glad because I want to see more of Jonah Hill. I like Jonah Hill. I just get bothered that they get it so wrong.
They did it wrong.
The middle down the road play that is so vanilla, it only dilutes everybody's.
I am offering all these brilliant ideas here, not for money. Like, I'm not saying, hey, WSL, wink, wink, I've got something, call me and we'll discuss it, because I roll out so many good ideas here and I would love for them to take and make properly any single one.
I agree. And
no credit. They could credit stinking Ashton Goggins for the idea if they want to. I don't even care about credit.
I don't either. There's, I think what's interesting though is now, without the world tour being a thing, all of these small media companies, us included, by just incorporating video, like, have opportunities to gain visibility and market share. Like, I talked about the vloggers never missing a day of work. Jamie O'Brien has only grown in awareness and influence while the WSL has been sitting down on the job in terms of generating content. Go ahead.
I got something for you here though. Do you ever check out Wasted Talent?
No.
Wasted Talent, I think, is a surf shop in Hossegor or somewhere. It's in France, but they also do have an online magazine-y kind of thing, interview thing. And it's, I
saw him interview Jay Davies.
Exactly. Yeah. They do interviews. So they did a recent interview with,
Wade?
No, with Craig Anderson.
Oh, okay.
Great interview, great peek behind the curtain of what Craig's been doing the last, Craig, I think, is not super out front. And so to get sort of insight into what Craig's been up to was fascinating. But Craig ended his thing with, or the interview with, fuck the WSL and fuck vlogs. Boom. Hammer dropped. And I was thinking, I've been pondering it since. Fuck vlogs. Huh. He didn't elaborate on it, but why fuck vlogs? Or what have vlogs become, or what do they represent? Is he talking specifically about the Jamie O'Brien, Ben Gravy style, where it's sort of,
it's gotta be,
it's a clown show, but that's what it's supposed to be. They're not Jamie O'Brien and
I know it's supposed to be, but just like we hate the Kardashians for what they represent.
So that's become, and they're the ones that are getting the most eyeballs. And Craig Anderson is there saying, fuck this. This is not surfing.
You guys riding a pink soft top and doing a TikTok dance on the beach for views is pathetic.
Okay.
That's probably what it is.
There we go. Solved it. What do you feel about that? About Craig's sentiment?
I'm not bothered by it.
I like that he has it.
Yeah.
I like that surfing is still a sort of nomadic art to Craig. It's not something that it's something that you hold and cherish and love, not something that you trot out in a clown costume on stage at a kid's party.
Yeah. And so I like that Craig represents what Craig represents, and that Craig's going to keep doing his thing and it's anti the other thing. But I still see the value of what Jamie O'Brien's doing. Neither one offends me on a personal, as a surfer.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't affect me as a surfer either way.
Reading Craig made me think, oh, maybe I should say fuck vlogs too. It made me think there's validity in that camp. Maybe.
Okay, so
I don't want surfing to be clownish.
Add this to your data set for when you make a decision. I watched Jamie O'Brien's wedge video in its entirety. It was the first time I've ever watched one of Jamie O'Brien's things for the full 20 minutes.
Jamie O'Brien's an absolute animal, especially surfing the wedge.
He's riding his branded soft top at the wedge. And I felt like it was really overt, like him trying to sell this soft top. He's probably got a back end of the profits, right?
Sure.
It was the wrong board to ride out there.
Ooh.
No matter, as much as he's forcing, and he's even going on Instagram, this board's so sick. I had such a good time on it, blah, blah, blah. And I'm watching him surf it going, dude, that completely inhibited your surfing ability.
What should he have been on?
a pointy thruster that he rides pipeline with, you know, like, and I mean, he rides the soft top at pipeline too, but he surfed the soft top unbelievably well, better than anybody else could surf that soft top, but it wasn't the right board for what he was doing. You know what I mean? I just thought, dude, I can appreciate needing to monetize and all that sort of stuff, but you're not being fully truthful here.
The fact that Jamie is such a good surfer and the fact that he can make almost any board in, I mean, Jamie O'Brien can ride a stinking plank and get barreled on it. He could ride, I mean, Jamie O'Brien, I'm going to give good ideas to Jamie O'Brien now. Jamie O'Brien should do a show called What Can I Barrel? And he should try to take any manner of things and see if he can get properly tubed on like a ladder.
2x4.
Oh yeah, on a 2x4. What could Jamie
Dyson vacuum?
Exactly. What could Jamie O'Brien get tubed on? Jamie,
that's hilarious.
Take it and run.
I like it, man. You're cranking out ideas today
all day.
So talking about these individual smaller media companies being able to like make pinpoint turns in response to COVID, in response to this new world we're living in. And the WSL is this giant cruise ship that has to plan out a turn long in advance and therefore never makes the turns.
But